We had some overtime to start the day today, and I had to wait until after the second period of the game with all the goals in it between Dallas and Calgary today. Boy, that's a fun one. And I mean that. That's a fun game. This one was a little slow by design. The New York Islanders do not play an exciting game. They don't play a game that makes you think, wow, these guys are champs, but they play a winning style of hockey. They clearly don't like the year 2020 and they're turning the clock back to 1995. At least that's how it feels to me. This is a team that is playing New Jersey Devils 1995 hockey, something that Jacques Lemaire would be very, very proud of. So the noteworthy thing before this game was that Lars Eller had a really tough game too. He was a -4 in that game. Keep in mind, Backstrom being out, a lot more responsibility on Lars Eller than would normally be the case. And Lars Eller, again, would be counted on for that kind of responsibility, as Backstrom's still not back in the lineup. Orlov takes a penalty. The Islanders go to the early power play. Holtby looked sharp early. I thought he had a very good game after a couple of shaky games in the first two. The shots were 6-2 in favor of the Islanders 7.5 minutes into this. So the game really was in Islanders' control right out of the gate. There was a shot for Brassard right from in front of the net that was turned aside. So again, lots of tests for Braden Holtby in this. 2 shot blocks on the same shift for Matt Martin. He was in some pain from that. He was in pain from the first one and wincing a lot before the second one hit him. So that's how the Islanders play hockey. That is Islanders hockey, and that's it in a nutshell. Oshie takes a penalty. The Islanders get a power play. The Islanders had a lot of power plays today compared to their normal. Their normal would be like 1 or 2. They had a bunch today. It didn't cost Washington, except when you consider momentum, when you consider shots, and just the overall feel of the game. Sometimes not getting goals on the power play sucks, but you still get the momentum and you're still keeping them off the score sheet. The shots were 11-3 at the 13-minute mark, and the Caps looked really, really flat at that stage. They did not look like a team that was fighting for their lives. They looked like a team that was up 2-0 rather than down 2-0. Holtby denied Eberle, but right after that highlight reel save, Anders Lee gets a goal from Pelech and Pulock at 14:50. He's had a goal in each game of this series so far, and so he scores to put the Islanders up 1-0. Felt important. Dillon then takes a penalty, and that's the third Islanders power play of the first period. So the Capitals struggling with their ability to stay out of the box, and they're down 1-0 after one, and it felt like an Islanders game. The shots were heavily in favor of the Islanders. They don't allow a ton of shots. When they allow them, they're from the outside. Ovechkin's getting absolutely no space out there. One thing with Backstrom not in the lineup is it gives the Islanders more free rein to just make sure that Ovechkin can't be open. And he's generally not. Second period, fast start definitely needed for the Capitals, but the Islanders pressed at the 3-minute mark. Caps are still stuck in neutral. And I was wondering at this point, like, are they going to wake up, or is this just going to be a shutout win for the Islanders, or the Capitals basically phoning it in? Pajot gets a breakaway, which is stopped by Holtby. Holtby was not phoning it in. Eberle, slashing call. The Caps go to the power play. On that power play, they get a goal. Kuznetsov scores from Karlsson and Ovechkin at 5 minutes and 50 seconds. So not a great game for Ovechkin to this point, but he's on the board with an assist. So it was a top corner goal, bird dance by Kuznetsov, and it was only the second shot on goal in that period for the Capitals. So it felt like against the flow of the play, because it was a power play, they end up getting that goal. But that's basically the highlight of the day for the Washington Capitals. And if you're an Islander fan, you're okay with that. You're like, you know what? That was the one break they got today. Lots of Capitals pressure after that goal, but then Gudas gets a hooking call. He disagrees with it. And again, I don't get into what is and isn't a penalty in playoff time because holy crow. Every single comment section under these videos for the reviews is all about how terrible all the refereeing is. And I only just get into, so that's what they called, and good night. Gudas didn't agree with the hook. Wilson then gets a shorthanded breakaway on a great pass by Lars Eller. Tom Wilson had a very good game today. He did. And, again, I think we've seen the maturity of Wilson, that we're not talking about ugly hits. We're not talking about fights all the time with Wilson. We're talking now about great passes, great shots. In this case, a breakaway. He is in the middle of a lot of scrums in front of the net, but he's matured. And you can see that. So we're not talking about ugly, dirty hits from Wilson, because there really aren't any. He's kept his nose clean. The worst it got from today was kind of like when he was elbowing. I'm trying to remember which member of the Islanders it was, but that member of the Islanders was kind of holding on to him and not letting go. So you can kind of understand. He's like, knock it off, get out. Lee had a snapshot saved by Holtby. Lee, anytime there was a scrum and Anders Lee's involved, he's probably going to take a punch. He's probably going to take an elbow. He's probably going to get kind of pulled around. The Capitals have not forgotten, clearly, and Anders Lee, he'll take that. Anders Lee he'll take that because he knows that he's played his game and that he's in their heads a little bit. So we go to the third period tied, and Ovi still without a shot. Wilson still basically the most prominent forward for the Capitals to this stage of the game. Back and forth action early. Martin takes a penalty. Capitals get a power play at 2 minutes and 34 seconds, but the power play was not able to get to Ovechkin. So Ovechkin, his spot. Not able to get it to him while he's in his spot. So again, great penalty kill by the Islanders in that case. It was only the second power play for the Capitals, but it was a key power play, and the Islanders defended it well. So the fact that Ovechkin just couldn't get that shot off was important. Wilson then takes a penalty he didn't agree with either. He argued the whole way to the box. Islanders power play. The shots were only 3-2 for the Islanders at 9 minutes, and it already felt like it was in overtime. 9 minutes into the third period, and I was like, nobody's scoring in this. All right, that's the end of that. I've almost got as many notes on that board there from after the second period between Dallas and Calgary as I've gotten this one the whole game, and it went to overtime. So, this was one of those games that it really felt like an Islanders game the whole way through. Varlamov denied Panik, so not a lot of great opportunities for Washington over this game, but when they got him, Varlamov was fantastic. Barzal had a deflection that was stopped. The Capitals pushed with 4 minutes to go, but then the Islanders go the other way. They pushed with 3 minutes to go. Some pressure, but not a lot of great chances. I thought the Capitals' defense played pretty well today, too. I can't just praise the Islanders' defense without mentioning the Capitals, they did not give the Islanders a lot either. Not many shots, solid defense by both teams in that third period. Last minute, there was a great chance for Brock Nelson, which was denied by Braden Holtby, who was a standout today for the Capitals. So we go to overtime. And all I could think was, okay, so I've made 1987 comments. Is it going to come back to bite me? Are we going to see a really long overtime game that pushes back the Philadelphia-Montreal game? How late could tonight go? Ovechkin gets his first shot of the game in the first minute of overtime. And as an Islander fan, you have to love that Ovechkin's not getting shots. Tentative start by both teams until Vrana had a breakaway, and he was stopped on the breakaway twice. And Jacob Vrana was not happy with himself after that. He felt he should have buried it, because not long after, at 4 minutes and 28 seconds, it's Matthew Barzal that buries it from Eberle and Brassard. Now, it's an overtime goal, so it's automatically reviewed. Barzal just had his toe on the line. It was very, very close to being called back on an offside, but Barzal did have his toe on the line. He didn't touch the puck when he was inside the zone. It was a very, very close, but still an onside play. And Barzal shows why he's ready to make the big bucks for the New York Islanders. They win it 2-1. They're up 3-0 on the Capitals. The Capitals just, the effort today I thought was better than in Game 2, but they're getting taken out by an Islanders team that has looked like they're on a mission right out of the gate against the Florida Panthers. So maybe the Florida Panthers weren't that bad. Maybe the Islanders were that good. That's what we're seeing. Or maybe the Islanders have been up against two teams that just have no answer for them. Either way, they won their first series 3-1, and now they're winning this one 3-0. So they've won 6 out of 7 since the return. Shots, 14-6 for the Islanders in the first. Both teams had 10 shots in the second and the third. 8-4 were the shots for the Islanders, and then in overtime, Washington actually had 3 shots, 2 of those on Veranda's breakaway. 2 shots for the Islanders, including the one that counts by Barzell. 34-23 of the shots in favor of the Islanders. Hits were 36-30 for the Capitals. Power plays 1 for 2 for Washington, 0 for 5 for the Islanders. So a lot of power plays, no goals, but it still, I think it helped the Islanders, kept the play at the other end. Holtby saved 32 out of 34. Varlamov saved 22 out of 23 for his 3rd straight win against his former team. So we'll see how things go from here and whether or not the Capitals are able to answer in Game 4. But this one looks pretty close to done. The Islanders look like they're ready to perhaps get their brooms out for Game 4, and we'll see whether or not that happens. Of course, Vegas has a shot at a sweep themselves as well. So we may find ourselves down a couple of teams pretty quick. And remember, a week from today will be the end of round 1, where we'll know by a week from today who's going to be playing who in the second round and all that wonderful stuff. So, hey, let me know your thoughts regarding this game in the comment section below. As always, don't forget to hit like and subscribe. If you're browsing your way through, you just happened upon this video. And hey, thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.